Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for buying me coffee. Thank you so much. I love it when you guys buy me coffee. You just use my email address and use PayPal. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Excellent. So I can see that we've actually had some new members, but it's not giving me the names yet. What it does, this is what it tends to do. I go onto the memberships. It's showing that the numbers have increased to 46, which tells me there's 3 new members. So whoever you are, it won't let me know until tomorrow. Any new members, just $1 a month, by the way. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love members. Yes, members. Come on. So honestly, guys, any of you that have reached out and bought me a coffee to say thank you, to show that you appreciate my hard work, it really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. How's Pat? Pat, how are you? So it takes a little while for people to start joining our live stream. It's Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. I think we're going to be a little while. Get yourself a tea, get yourself a coffee. I'm in the lounge because the kids are home, and I've got a good hour to just chat with you guys. I do have a few different topics to go over. Do you know what? I'm getting a lot of messages. I know that Chrissa sent me some information to do with Spotlight Spy. That is something I want to cover eventually. And then we've also got Linda sent me a very detailed. Linda is one of our new members, by the way. The newest members are Linda, Lorna, and Andrew Morenin. So, but I've got some even newer members that have added on. Linda, your email, thank you so much. Brilliant email, but it's going to take me a while to go through that. That is a very long email, a brilliant email, great information on it. I'm definitely going to go through it, but that's a lot of, I need to read that 2 or 3 times to absorb it. So Linda, give me a chance to go through that. All of you guys that are sending me information, really appreciate it. There's a lot of you guys are sending me great stuff. Many different names now sending me information, too many to mention. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So who we got on? So we got Sherry. Sherry, you made it. You caught us. So I'm going to give people a chance to join us. That coffee, guys. Beautiful butter coffee, whisked with a blender. Bzzz. And that stops me feeling hungry, keeps me feeling full. And, I don't have loads of coffees. I have 2 a day, sometimes at a push 3. But I do treat coffee as a luxury, which is why I love it when you guys push the coffee button and send me a coffee. Send me a couple of dollars for a coffee. Love it. Makes my day. Right. How is Vincenzo? So a few different things we're going to talk about today. Now, I did notice on the 20. Now, remember, we've got Defending Elvis Presley 24-hour chat on Facebook. So the Facebook page, Defending Elvis Presley, 24-hour chat on the Messenger. And I was just having a quick look. And one of you, let's have a look who. Multi, are you there? Let me just remind them we're live. Let's just remind them. Multi, are you there? Hi, Rebecca. Thanks. All of you that have sent me a coffee. Thank you. Pat, I can't sort it. I don't understand why it's not allowing you to join, because I've friend request. You're on my friends now, aren't you, on Facebook? I have no idea. Have you joined the Defending Elvis Presley Facebook page? Maybe it's that. Have you joined the Defending Elvis Presley Facebook page? Because I know you're on my friends. Louis McCready's. Have you? Check that. You have. I just don't understand it. Let me just try one more time now. So look, we're on it now. Look. Then I click invites. I type in the word Pat. Let's have a look. No name. Your name doesn't come up. Your name doesn't come up. Yeah, there's a blanked out name that I've already invited, and that is Pat Pargetta. But it's blocked out. It doesn't allow it to work. So it is very strange. Let me see if we can do it a different way. So if I look at chat members, this shows me the chat members. Look. And I go through the chat members. I type in the word Pat. It says there's only one Pat called Pat Pajeska. Pat Pajeska. Oh, we love Pat. I know that. But I don't know. I've checked to make sure you're not blocked. You're definitely not blocked. Let's have a look. No, you're not in the blocking list. I don't know what to say. I know it's not you, Pat. For some reason, it's not allowing me to find you. So we'll keep trying. Right. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. So whilst we were on the Defending Elvis Presley chat, this came up. You see that? It says Elvis's secret autopsy file, and it was Multi that posted it. Leaked. The King doctor says Icon was really killed by body inflammation. So we're going to read that. That's going to be our first thing we do. I'm just making sure. There's a few more of you on. So Pat, I will keep trying. It's very strange, but we need to get on with this live stream. So hi, I just was watching your live from earlier. I'm always behind the USA. Hi Valvis, how are you, my friend? So I've had some brilliant messages. I'm going to read some out. Now, you know what it's like. I want to read out. I'm going to see how long this thing is about his. Let's just see how long it is. Oh, it's quite long. Let's have a look. Oh, actually, no, it's not too long. So we'll read that out. Then I want to start reading your messages because you've sent me some very, very good messages. Okay, right. I'm just going to very quickly put some water in my coffee. Then I'm going to come back. Okay, just topped up the coffee because it's going to take a while. All right, it's a bit cold. Let me just warm it up quickly. We need hot coffee, not cold. Hot coffee, not cold. So I went out with the wife for a little while. We had a egg bacon sausage fry up, which sticks with my carnivore keto diet. We were talking about carnivore and keto earlier today. Quite a few of you have asked me questions about carnivore and keto. If any of you have any questions about carnivore diet or keto diet, how I helped my health, how I lost weight, please just send me a personal message and I will do my best to help you. Yeah. nice and hot. Obviously, I always say this. Look at Dr. Ken Berry, and always consult your doctor when you're changing your diet. Okay, so right, let's get on with this. Who we got here? So I am ready for an island. Thank you. Let's have a look. Got to sort out the winter hats. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to read out this thing. Then we're going to go through your comments. Now, remember, your comments, some of them are brilliant. They're amazing. So they're going to take a while. So the time in the UK is 3:49 p.m. Get your coffees ready. Get your teas ready, because this is going to take a little while. Elvis' secret autopsy file leaked. King's doctor says Icon was really killed by body inflammation trauma sparked by 1960s brain injury. Now, I have read a lot of things about Elvis's when he hit his head. Many of you have told me about when Elvis hit his head. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Diana. Okay, let's just start reading it. I have not read this. I have no idea. So we're going to just see as we go. But this, to me, looks like it was released today, I think. Let's look at the date of it. Is there a date on here? 26th of September, published. Is that today? Is it the 26th today, guys? 47 years after his death, Elvis Presley's secret autopsy file has been leaked, causing speculation about his true cause of death. Come on, guys. Let's get me in more in the middle. Have any of you read this? This was on the 24/7 Facebook Messenger page defending Elvis Presley. Right, I'm doing a live at the moment. Who is it? Hello, it's my little... spiders. It's my little monkey. Can you see it? You going to say hello? Hello. Hello. Right, just be careful, that coffee's hot. Right. This is Tino. He's 4. He wants me to write spider. Right, here we are. Is that it? Let me hold you. Say hello. Hello. Right, go on then. Can you shut the door, please, behind you? I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. See you in a minute. Mummy's here. Oh, he's so cute. So I brought him some nice cakes. It's not keto, it's not carnivore, but I got him some nice cakes. Most of you know my son has brain injury. His life was changed forever. Poor Elvis didn't even know he had possible long-term brain damage. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, I remember, Linda, you told us about this. And my heart goes out to you and your son. So I don't know much about the story about Elvis's head injury. Let's read this and we'll see what is said. Let's have a look. Radar Online can reveal that the late music legend's doctor claimed his death was actually the result of body inflammation trauma sparked by brain injury he suffered in the 1960s. Now, my carnivore diet says that most inflammation is caused from sugar, from anything that turns into sugar. But that's just because that's how I cured my ulcerative colitis. When I moved away from sugar and wheat and pasta and bread, my inflammation reduced and I got cured. So, but I see what you're saying here, that the head injury could have caused inflammation. Elvis was just, well, it says 43 here. It says here he was 43 years old. No, 42. But anyway, let's have a look. Elvis was 42. It says 43. So that does make me worry about this writer. Elvis was 43, which is wrong. He was discovered face down in the bathroom of his Grayson home. 50 years. His family sealed his autopsy results. Until now, a report has uncovered the extent of his health issues. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Why? Why suddenly has this been discovered? I'd like to know. Right. The King's final 10 years had a devastating impact on his body after years of drug abuse. See, I don't like it, guys. Now, there's a chance I'm going to disagree with many of the points in this write-up. It wasn't drug abuse. The man was chronically sick. They're telling us he could have had brain injury. We know he had chronic illnesses like twisted colon, like glaucoma, like an enlarged colon. He had liver issues. He had breathing problems. He also may have inherited the alpha-1 genetic disorder. Some say he could have had bone cancer. So when they say here years of drug abuse, I don't like it, because Elvis didn't take street drugs. Elvis was not a drug addict. Yes, he was on a lot of medication. He was a very desperately sick man that turned to his doctors and nurses to medicate him, to try and help heal him, to reduce his pain, his discomfort, to fix his issues. I accept he took strong sleeping pillars, strong uppers, strong sedatives, opioids. I know that. I accept he may have been addicted to some of them. I accept that he may have overtaken, abused them. But Elvis he was not a drug addict. So his devastating impact on his body after years of abuse, his weight ballooned, and he required full-time nurse to help him manage basic tasks, including bathing. I can already see that this write-up isn't going to be nice. I will say this. He did not balloon. He did not balloon. If you study his pictures properly from 1977, this is why we defend Elvis Presley, guys. If you discover the pictures properly, he had slimmed out and was looking much better in his legs, his arms, his shoulders. It was only his tummy that was distended. He was not a big balloon. The word here they've used is his weight had ballooned. No, he did have inflammation, definitely. His face was very puffy, 100%. He was puffy, had inflammation, but his weight had not ballooned. That's an exaggeration, and it's not true. Due to his poor diet. Again, they're blaming. Again, I dispute this, guys. I disagree with this. Again, due to his poor diet. We don't actually know what Elvis was eating. We don't know. I heard that he really liked fruit cocktails. Yeah, that he loved vitamins. Like he would take a large amount of vitamins. Now, if anyone thinks that Elvis was just living on cheeseburgers and peanut butter jelly and banana sandwiches, you're wrong. Elvis had got bored of that kind of food when he was much younger. So I disagree with that point. Remember, we're defending Elvis Presley. Due to his poor diet, he has reportedly suffered from chronic constipation. At the time of his death, he had 4 months worth of stool in his bowel. Okay, that might be true, the bit that says about the stool in his bowel, but they don't, come on. He had a twisted colon. He had severe constipation. We don't really know what caused the constipation. We know there's a possibility he'd inherited some kind of genetic problem, alpha-1, from his mother, his grandparents, because his grandparents were first cousins. Now, we're all guessing a bit, aren't we? We've got the book Destined to Die Young. They give their version of events, Sally Hoddle's book. And then we've got the Dr. Forrest Tennant's book, which I always forget the name of. What's the name of Dr. Forrest Tennant's book? Do any of you know? So I am half disagreeing with this. Now, if Amy Collett was with us now, we know Auntie Amy, she'd be giving us her version of his medical problems. We know that Hidden Minds, the YouTube channel, he has done a very good video discussing Elvis's medical conditions and the prescribed medication he was taking. And in fact, there are other channels that are now covering this subject. So we need to try and understand the different chronic problems Elvis had within his body that plagued him in his late 30s and early 40s that led to his death. Yeah? Because what I would say, from what I've been told, from what I've learned, that it was his constipation that led to his death, overstraining. I know that there's a term that you guys use, isn't there? So let me just read this. Did any of you know the name of that book? Here we are. Thank you, Elvis. Thank you. The Strange Medical Saga of Elvis Presley's and its Forrest Tennant is, and as far as I know, didn't Forrest Tennant, wasn't he a witness at the Dr. Nick trial? The Dr. Nick trial. Is that correct? Does anyone know? I'd like to get Natalie. I'd like to get that book as well. I would. Right, let's keep going. Elvis was additionally said to be taking a cocktail of prescription drugs. Now, this is where we don't know if it's lies or truths, do we? In the 7 months before his sudden death, he was reportedly prescribed over 9,000 pills, vials, injections, according to the Mirror. Now, I've learned something. The reason they've come to that number of pills, now tell me if I'm right or wrong, guys, is because when they checked Dr. Nick's medical bag, it had that amount of pills in. Yeah? But this is what I've heard. You please, if I'm wrong, please tell me. He carried enough pills because when you cross the borders in America, there was rules for the type of medication you were allowed to carry, the amount of medication you were allowed to carry. So what he would do, he would keep enough pills so that he could, because he wasn't just Elvis's doctor. He was the doctor of all the Memphis Mafia and all of the entourage, all of the staff. So he was looking after a lot of people. It was over 100 people. So he carried a lot of pills, not because they were all for Elvis. So even this thing about 9,000 pills, it doesn't take that into account. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm no expert. This is just what I've read. This is from information that you guys give me that I've read, that I've watched in interviews. I have watched many of Dr. Nick's interviews. Yeah. So if I'm wrong, put me right, guys. Yeah, Rebecca has got it. Yeah, and Pat, you're right. These write-ups, they harm Elvis. Pat, thank you. These write-ups that are sort of guessing a bit, that are exaggerating, that are twisting the truth, because everything I've read so far in this has been twisted. They don't help Elvis. They make Elvis look bad. They make him look fat, a druggie. And how does that make Riley feel? How does that make Finley and Harper feel when you get these ridiculous write-ups, radar, write-ups that aren't even telling the truth? They're telling a twisted version of the truth. And the reason I read them out is so we can defend Elvis and say, this is just wrong, guys. You should be printing the truth. So as soon as they got his age wrong, that tells me everything. Yes, I agree, Linda. In the 7 months, right, okay, we read that bit. While an autopsy was performed within a day of Elvis's body being discovered, the results were sealed for decades, fueling speculation of his true cause of death. I have read that after the autopsy, I think a few people did see the autopsy before it was sealed, and they have released some of the information of the bits they knew, like Dr. Nick. But yes, we've heard that Vernon Presley, he made the decision to seal the autopsy for 50 years, and it's due in a few years, yeah? Dan Warwick, chief investigator for the Tennessee Office of State Chief Medical Examiner, attended his autopsy. His statement on Elvis's death largely contributed to the theories that he died while trying to have a bowel movement. And we've heard this. Some of you guys have said the maneuver that caused his heart to stop. Maybe one of you here will be able to say it for me if you look it up quickly, what the actual thing that was called that caused his heart to stop. He said Presley's chronic constipation, the result of years of prescription drug abuse and high fat, high cholesterol gorging, brought on what is known as here we are. The Valsalva's maneuver, put simply, the strain of attempting to defecate compressed the singer's abdominal aorta, shutting down his heart. I'll repeat that. I do disagree with one comment. Is high fat, high cholesterol gorging. I hate that word. Why do they have to say that he was gorging? Gorging. There's now evidence coming out now that cholesterol is not bad for you, that you eat. There's evidence coming out now. High fat, there's now evidence coming out now that good fats, animal fats, vegetable oil, olive oil, coconut oil are good for you. So I disagree with those 2 points. But the word gorging, they're trying to paint the picture that Elvis is sat in his bedroom in a blacked out room, silver foil on the windows, gorging on cheeseburgers. That's really what they're saying, isn't it? It's rubbish. It's rubbish. Anyone that thinks that Elvis would just sit in his room binging on food, on cheeseburgers, on peanut butter sandwiches with jelly and banana, it's bullshit. Sorry for my French. Sorry for that. Let's have a look. Right, brought on by the known as Valsalva's maneuver, put simply, the strain of attempting to defecate compressed the singer's abdominal and aorta, shutting down his heart. Okay, now we're not really going to know if that's correct because we haven't seen the actual autopsy. Yeah? Let's see if there's any more. Right, let's have a look. Let's just see if there's any more. It shows a picture of his grave. There's a couple of clips here of different write-ups. One says, I cared... What's that? Because no, that's someone else. Right, let's keep going and see if it's going to show us any more. Dr. Warwick claims others believed Elvis suffered a drug overdose. However, one prominent Californian physician disagreed with both theories. Now, I think, am I right or wrong? It's well known that he went to the dentist in the early hours of the morning. They would have prescribed some kind of painkillers, but the story is mixed, isn't it? There's a lot of different versions. Despite Warwick's claims, others believed Elvis suffered a drug overdose. However, one prominent Californian physician disagreed with both theories. Dr. Forrest Tennant reviewed the sealed file while defending Elvis's Dr. George Nicopolis. Yeah, this is what we said just now. So Dr. Forrest Tennant has reviewed the sealed file while defending Dr. Nick, who was later acquitted of over-prescribing drugs to the singer. I will say this. I know he was acquitted, but later on, didn't he get prosecuted and lose his doctor's license? Is that what they call it? For over-prescribing medication to other people. Was Jerry Lee Lewis one of them? Was there others? You guys may know. Right. Let's have a look. So chilling in Canada, I think there was a separate stash that was traced back through the prescription records. Okay, maybe. Right, let's have a look. Pat, I agree, Pat. This could all be rubbish. We do not have any evidence. I completely agree that this has been written up to make Elvis look bad, to make Elvis look bizarre, to make Elvis look, how can I say it, like an addict. hasn't it? A fat addict. That's what they're trying to do here. This isn't trying to make Elvis look good. Yeah. This is the problem. This is why we defend Elvis. Because there's so many things that are just there to make Elvis look bad, to get headlines, to get viewers, to draw people to their, it could be to this radar internet page, couldn't it? Yeah, we don't know. Too many people are trying to benefit from the Presley name by saying things that are headline news. If you don't know about Elvis, people will say Elvis died on the toilet eating cheeseburgers. It's sickening. Do you know what? I was reading something that is, I'm trying to think who the Charlie Hodge, was it Charlie Hodge? I think didn't find him on the toilet, that he found him in a different room and that he was moved. I'm not saying that's true, but there's different versions. Who knows? Who actually knows? Yeah. Was he actually on the toilet? So Linda, if you don't know about Elvis, most people will say he died in the toilet and cheeseburgers. Yeah. Come on. He was eating cheeseburgers when he was in his 20s at Crystal's. Yeah. He wasn't binging on cheeseburgers when he was 40. Remember, cheeseburgers were a very cool thing to eat in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, weren't they? Even 80s. So, right. Now, remember, Elvis spent most of his life very slim. If you look at Elvis from the 1950s, even up to the Vegas tours, the Vegas concerts, the early ones, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, he was very slim. That means he was slim until he was 38. So anyone that talks about Elvis like he was fat his whole life, go back and look at the concerts, look at the pictures and the footage of a very slim, handsome man, beautifully bronzed. Yeah, you have a look and you will see a slim man that was slim for most of his life. He died at the age of 42. He was slim almost his whole life. Even in March 1977, yeah, months before he died, you look up the Hawaii holiday pictures. 1977, Elvis in Hawaii on holiday. You look at those pictures, guys. Slim legs, slim arms, slim body. Puffy face, puffy belly. Much slimmer than that is made out. The footage that we see of Elvis in concert just before he died was filmed very close up. So yes, you see the puffy face. Yes, you see that the tummy is a little bit inflamed, but the rest of his body is quite slim. You go back and you re-look at that footage, and you'll be surprised when you give it a second glance, his arms and legs are much slimmer than you thought. What it is, when you just look at it from afar and he's sweating, puffy-faced, and his tummy's extended a bit, you just go, oh, yeah, he was fat. Plus, you've been brainwashed to think he was fat. So if you keep getting told that he's fat for 20, 30, 40 years, then when you come to watch this footage, you've been a bit brainwashed. So when you watch it, you go, yeah, he's fat. He must have binged on cheeseburgers and yeah. It's rubbish. Let's have a look. Ginger Alden says she found Elvis on the floor of the bathroom, Louis. I know, but I've heard other versions, Vincenzo. I've heard other versions. But I think it's likely that it's true. But let's have a look. Ginger says he was going into the bathroom to read because he couldn't sleep. Yep, I've listened to that. In the 1980s, Nicopolis was indicted for overprescribing drugs to Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and other patients. He was acquitted. Well, I heard that he wasn't. I heard he was acquitted with Elvis, but then later on, with Jerry Lee Lewis and a few other patients, that he wasn't acquitted. Am I right or wrong? I want you to put me right, guys. Let's have a look. Yes, Rebecca, I've heard that as well. Rebecca, that he didn't for Elvis, but he did for other people. Vincenzo, I agree that the side effects of the medication made him bloated. I agree. Inflamed him. Inflammation. I agree with that. He was a little bit fat around the tummy and puffiness around the face. Not much. Not the way that they make it out. I asked Google, but the source... Okay, I've heard the same. Right, thank you, Rebecca. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Now, I'm not saying this is truth. I'm actually reading this to be critical about it and disagree with it. Yeah? Let's have a look. He claimed the severe deterioration of Elvis's body pointed to decades of trauma well before his drug abuse. But what does that mean? What does that mean when it says decades of trauma? You know, nice words, nice big words, but what does it really mean? Right, Tennant believed that the singer's organ damage, as well as issues such as vertigo, insomnia, back pain, eye infections, headaches, stemmed from a serious head injury Elvis sustained in 1967. Okay. Now, you know, it's a very big maybe. It's a very big maybe, isn't it? Right. He believed the head trauma triggered an autoimmune inflammatory disorder and detailed his theory in a 2013 medical paper. And I have heard about this. Now, you know I'm into carnivore diet. You know I'm into keto diet. You will get, if you eat too much sugar, bread, pasta, starchy vegetables, wheat, rice, you will get an autoimmune inflammatory disorder. It causes IBS, IBD, Crohn's, colitis. Sugar does that, guys. A bad diet will do that. Now, obviously, they're trying to blame the head injury. I'm no doctor. I don't understand how a head injury can cause autoimmune inflammatory disorder. I'm no doctor. I still dispute that, though. The physician noted Elvis tripped over a television cord and knocked himself out on the bathtub, an injury that he alleged was so severe it caused brain tissue to dislodge and enter his blood circulation. Okay, so my guess is they're saying if this did happen, I've heard about him falling and banging his head. So they're basically saying brain tissue entering the bloodstream is going to cause this. I'm not a doctor, guys. What do you think? I know about the fall. I've heard it many times. Do I know that the fall actually happened? I don't know. I'm not going to say if it did or if it didn't. I wasn't there. As the tissue entered the bloodstream, Tennant believed the singer's body identified it as a foreign substance and produced antibodies to fight it. God, do you know, guys, this is the 1980s, yeah? Or late 70s. I don't know. Did they have the technology in 1977 to know that? To be able to say it entered the bloodstream? Tennant believed the singer's body identified as a foreign substance and produced antibodies to find it. It's a big guess, isn't it? It's a theory. Is he a scientist? Was he a doctor? He probably was a doctor, yeah? Does anyone believe that? I don't know, guys. I'm not a doctor. The fall happened before filming of Clambake, Louis. Yes, but do we actually, Vincenzo, I always analyze things. Do we know the fall happened? Is there a witness that knows it happened? Not something that has been repeated over and over again as a story, as hearsay. Did anyone see the fall? Is there actual evidence? It's like this stupid thing where they say that he took salt tablets to That has been repeated over and over again. It's been in books. Larry Geller said it. But it wasn't true, in my opinion. The whole salt, take salt to sweat bullshit. Do we know this happened? Guys, this is why we're called Defending Elvis Presley. We have to dispute everything. We have to be critical and read between the lines, everything. Right. Due to the lack of understanding of autoimmune diseases, at the time, Elvis's symptoms most likely would have been misdiagnosed. I think even now, would they say that brain tissue getting into the bloodstream would cause autoimmune problems? Who knows, guys? Who knows? We ain't doctors. We ain't scientists. Let's have a look. Let's read your comments as we go. Marty Locker has said it too many times. Who really knows? Linda, Marty Locker said Elvis was a pervert. Yeah, and thought Elvis was going to go to prison for befriending Priscilla. I don't trust anything the Memphis Mafia say, but I get your point. Thank you. Cherie, Louis, 100% Louis, I've got loads of problems from eating carbs. It's ruined my liver function. It definitely does. Cherie, trust me, I have done a lot of research. I am an experiment. I have been on carnivore keto. I've stopped my carbs, stopped my sugar, bread, pasta, rice, potato. I mainly eat meat and eggs. I do have a tiny bit of low carb veg, a tiny bit of fruit, like strawberries, blackberries, and I have got rid of all of my illnesses. I am not on any medication. So carbs, sugar does do damage. While weighing in on Tennant's theory in 2016, retired homicide detective and forensic coroner Gary Rogers said he would attribute the singer's death to heart attack sparked by heart disease. That's more realistic. Drug use. Now, I will say this. Prescribed medication, overtaking prescribed medication, possibly addicted to certain medications. Also, we're talking about sleeping tablets, uppers, sedatives. I accept there could have been a problem there. Overtaking, yeah. I'm going to be honest. I won't whitewash Elvis. We'll be realistic. We'll be honest. Elvis did abuse his medication sometimes. I think that's very possible. Stemming from an autoimmune disorder caused by the brain injury. I just see the caused by the brain injury. I just see that as a total guess. And I see that as just an excuse to try and make Elvis look silly. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. 100% he had very serious constipation. 100%. The twisted colon thing, which must have been horrific for him. Let's just keep going. We've got a bit more to read here. Let's have a look. It keeps jumping up, guys. Let's have a look. So they're saying that he tripped over. Let's have a look. I'm just going back a little bit. So they're saying that he tripped over a television cord and knocked himself out in the bathtub. Let's just keep going. Rogers said, I have to classify Elvis's death as an accident. There's no one to blame, certainly not Elvis. He was severely injured and an ill man. I definitely agree that he was an ill man. There's no specific negligence on anyone's part and definitely no cover-up or conspiracy of a criminal act. Okay, well, I never thought there was. I suppose that he's referring to the fact that the autopsy had been sealed for 50 years by Vernon. So that creates conspiracy theories. I get that. Dr. Forrest Tennant is right. There simply wasn't a proper understanding back then in determining what really killed the king of rock and roll. That's it, guys. I think that's interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed breaking it down and disagreeing with most of it. Now, I will always go back to this, guys. Elvis tried to keep many of his chronic conditions quiet, secret. He was a proud man. I think Elvis, on and off, even as a child, as a teenager, a man in his 20s and 30s, I think he always had problems, medical problems. I think once you can see that he needed a private nurse, his own personal doctor, which I think started in the late 60s, he was ill. He was unwell. He was doing it. He was a proud man. He was trying to hide it. And I just think it snowballed. I think Elvis turned to his doctors, his nurses, more than one doctor. He did turn to pills and medication, thinking they would fix him, soothe him. He definitely, I think, probably did take too many, just in my opinion, sleeping tablets. But don't forget, it was very normal to take sleeping tablets in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He probably took sedatives, uppers, maybe even diet pills, yeah? Quite common in the 60s and 70s. He probably did abuse the medication he was on. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. But I think it just, as he got more unwell, as he got nearer to his 40th birthday, there was a lot of side effects with this prescribed medication. 100%, I think, just an opinion. And then by the time he gets to age 39, age 40, age 41, he's very, very unwell. He's completely reliant on the doctors and the nurses and the medication, the prescribed medication. He feels that he needs it to perform, because by the time he's at Vegas, the last 2, 3, 4 years, and he's doing up to 3 shows a day, yeah, he needed the medication to help him through each day, not just to help him sleep, to help him to relax, to give him energy for performances, but also, hopefully, to reverse, cure his medical problems with his lungs, his liver, his colon, his twisted colon, his glaucoma, his high blood pressure, probably high blood sugars, hypertension, and many more things. Elvis was desperately taking these prescribed medical tablets that were coming from his doctors. He had more than one doctor, nurses, and who knows if he had other sources of ways of getting prescribed medication, pills, yeah? And it all just got too much. His body couldn't handle it. There were many very serious side effects. You can't hide it in his last few concerts. Obvious. He's very unwell. Very, very unwell. And by then, it's too late, guys. By then, it's too late. Even though you can see in March 1977, he does look like he's started to slim out. He looks a little bit better on the Hawaiian holiday, yeah? But I think there's a lot of damage being done, irreversible damage. I think autoimmune inflammation was a massive problem for Elvis. So it's very sad. It's very sad. So I'm going to read some of your comments, and then I'm going to go. I want to read some of your comments that you've sent me on the YouTube channel. So that's it. So yeah, a bit sad, guys. A bit sad. This is the man that we admire, the man we love. We feel sad for Lisa Marie because she had similar problems. And then we feel sad for Riley and Finley and Harper because they've had to go through this. Even now, every day, they're going through that. That's their family. That's their grandfather, their mother. Yeah? So you imagine how tough life sometimes is for Riley, for Finley, for Harper, even though they've got these beautiful smiles. See them social media sites. Riley has got the best side here. He goes to the room, and you've got the teenagers, I think nearly 16, beautiful ladies, but they have to go through this. They have to go through the history of Presley, the bloodline. Must be tough, must be tough. And this part of the reason here is defending Elvis Presley, because we are trying to clear Elvis' reputation. We're trying to restore his reputation, restore his image, protect his legacy. The fans of Elvis are trying to say, no, a lot of the things that are being said about Elvis are wrong. Many of the things that Priscilla said about Elvis are wrong. We're trying to undo the damage of all the interviews, hundreds of them, by Priscilla Presley, being very cruel to Elvis's memory, image, reputation. We're trying to undo it somehow by breaking down these interviews, disagreeing, exposing the lies, asking for an apology from Priscilla, because she knows she can look back on these interviews and see the wrongdoing. That Barbara Walters interview we was disgusting. The pair of them should be ashamed of themselves. Just how horrific to do it. It really is horrific. I was close to tears when we went through that yesterday. Really, I was right there, in tears. It was so upsetting. Some of you were as well. So, Finley, Harper, Ryan, we got your back. You may say, we know you're proud of your mother, you're proud of your grandfather. We're going to make you more proud, because we are going to clear out the cobwebs and try to have the public around the world see the real Elvis. We're going to try our best. We're going to get that apology from grandmother. Right, let's read some of your let me